On with the show, the Year of the Family, and today's co-host is the co-founder of the Arab Child Summit and the founder of Dardasha. Please welcome Reem Madkour to the show and, of course, to the sofa. Reem, really great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I suppose there's only one place to start, and that is Year of the Family. The fact that the UAE government has announced that 2026 is going to be a year dedicated, an entire 12 months dedicated to the importance of family. For somebody who holds family values so true as you and so important, that must be a huge, huge vote of confidence.
I can't begin to explain how excited we were when we heard the announcement from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. Very much aligns with the mission that we are upholding both at the Arab Child Summit and at Dardasha. The idea that identity begins with the family and begins at home is something that we're really trying to raise awareness of, and also provide families with the tools that they need to be able to instill those values with their children. So we're very excited to have the support from the government, and also just really proud to be able to raise our children in a country that sees the value in that.
Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. You talked about the Arab Child Summit and, of course, Dardasha, which you co-founded. Can you please tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think probably the best place to start is my own experience as a former child. I say that's as a former child myself. You know, I was raised in Saudi Arabia. I'm Egyptian Palestinian, but I went to British schools, and then I lived in the US for a few years, and there was always that kind of push and pull of the different cultures, and this feeling that I wasn't quite confident in who I was. My Arabic was also terrible. I know I probably shouldn't admit that maybe on television as the founder of it.
It's fine. It's
as
fine.
the founder of an Arabic.
You're amongst family.
Thank you. I got you.
You're amongst family. It's all fine.
But actually, I think that has in some ways been my competitive advantage, because I understand that struggle from a child's perspective, and I know what I felt I wish I had when I was younger. And so that's kind of what sparked the inspiration for Dardasha. When I became a mother, I really wanted my children to come out speaking Arabic better than I did. And actually now he speaks better than I do, so I feel like that's a win. And then the Arab Child Summit was kind of like a very natural extension of that, because it really talks about the ecosystem as a whole. So we bring together experts and policymakers and educators and families all under one roof for 2 days to talk about every topic centering the Arab child. But it's really different than any other summit or parent conference in that it has cultural context. So all of the speakers and experts that we bring are Arabs, so they're able to talk about their area of expertise through the lens of an Arab family.
I mean, every one of your sessions speak to me. And I really do struggle, because I feel like we're constantly having the same conversations in our house. How can we make Arabic easier for us to speak at home? How can we make it feel more natural? How can we put them in environments in the UAE that will give them the opportunity to speak more? What are some of the advice that you're giving people? Obviously, Dardasha plays a role in that too. I have the Dardasha books. They're great for kids. What is some of the advice that you're generally giving family on how to incorporate more Arabic or more of their own languages at home?
I think ultimately my advice is always to consistency over like big grand gestures. You know, I think committing to small acts throughout your day, making it part of your routine. We always say that Arabic is a language to be lived. It is not a subject to be taught at school. And at Dardasha, like Dardasha means chit-chat, means conversation, because we really wanted to kind of destigmatize and deinstitutionalize it as a language, and to really focus on it being a mode of communication and being a way that we can connect with our children. So keeping it fun, keeping it relatable, keeping it accessible. We actually just launched an initiative called Al Haya Bil Arabi, which means life in Arabic, which is partnering with local businesses to offer workshops in Arabic. So for example, we have our first workshop with Roboland. It's going to be a robotics class, but it's in Arabic. This idea that it's not an Arabic class. It's not, I'm not here to teach you Arabic. I'm actually here to just have fun with you and build a robot, but we're going to do it entirely in Arabic. And through that immersive process, children will naturally learn the language. And that's how language is supposed to be learned. It's supposed to be lived. And I think that's maybe where the disconnect has happened over the years.
It's also generational, isn't it? You know, you pick up the habits of your parents and your grandparents, but we are living in a very digital age at the moment, and younger generations are getting entertainment and content from all parts of the world, different languages, etc. How How's that impacting on our understanding of family values in the digital age at the moment?
I mean, I think our children are growing up in an age where they're exposed to more information than any generation before them. And I think that that's why it is more critical than ever for parents and families to really be able to guide them and to provide the support and the infrastructure that they need to feel truly grounded in their own identities, so that they can experience other cultures, experience other ideas without fear of dilution or confusion of who they are. And so I would really love to see more conversations about just intentionality in terms of parents having conversations with their children, being clear in, as a family, this is what we believe, this is how we act, this is what we do. Not everybody's going to do that or uphold the same values, but it's okay, and we're understanding and we're empathetic. But having that clear and that clear North Star that they can always go back to, I think is sorely underrated, and really is so important to have something to come back to no matter where life takes you.
Yeah.
Why do you think these conversations are very important to have, like talking in a family setting openly about these topics? Because the thing is, kids nowadays don't think about these things. Like, oh, let's go to your grandma's house. Oh, but why do I have to go to my grandma's house? I can just call her,
Yeah.
So how important is it to have these conversations with your kid? Because at the end of the day, like you said, this is how we preserve the culture and the traditions and everything. This is family values that we need to still keep with our kids while they grow up.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting question, because I think that oftentimes there's this misconception about tradition and modernity being somehow opposing forces. But I think that actually tradition is, cultural values retaining their meaning but evolving with time, because they need to be relatable to children. They need to account for our own children's lived experiences, because the reality is that our children are living in a world that's very different than the world that we grew up in. And so maybe one mistake that we fall into is this idea of trying to recreate our own childhoods with our children, but coming to terms with the fact that they really are experiencing life differently, but that there are certain values that we want to maintain and that we want to make sure get communicated through this transitional phase. So things like family first and spending time with grandma, like these are non-negotiables for me. And that human interaction is something that really no robot or AI or digital interaction is ever going to be able to replace. Now, granted, not all of us are lucky enough to have our family all around us, so the availability of technology has actually been incredible for many of us. But it's about, again, like the intentionality, setting the time aside to dedicate energy towards things that you feel are important, and setting that as a non-negotiable for your family. And that's how values are kind of instilled, I think, with children.
I mean, some of the things that you personally find important, I'd like to hear more about that. But taking into consideration, it is the year of the family, and something that you said, which is you have so many regrets growing up, for instance, with the not being able to speak Arabic as well. I really feel that. I don't want that for my kids. And somehow it feels like history is repeating itself. So what are some of the goals that you personally have this year? For you and your family, of course.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, my eldest is 7, and, we started Dardasha when he was 1 year old, and it's kind of grown with him. He was our first guinea pig. Nice. I was joking backstage that our marketing strategy is having a new child every 5 years so that we can keep renewing the content. But, now that he's 7, and like the reality is that his life is in English. He goes to an English school. All of his friends speak English, and so I'm starting to see that shift. And I think one of my goals is, and I can see myself kind of becoming the parent that I've been telling people not to be, which is forcing my child to speak Arabic and making it kind of a point of contention. But I'm trying to take a step back and be more, offer more grace, and I think just offer more understanding, and accept that it doesn't have to be Arabic over English. Both can exist, but keeping it light, keeping it fun, and maintaining that kind of positive connection with the language so it doesn't become a point of contention.
That's what I totally agree with you on, because once you force it on them, it's something that they're not going to learn at all.
Exactly.
Well, Reem, that's great insight. We're still going to have you with us during the episode.